Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my corner of the internet. My name is Jason and today we are back with some more Distant Worlds universe. Last time, I basically shot myself in the foot somehow. I don't know, it seemed like a good idea at the time to go ahead and remove all of the excess, we'll say, research labs throughout my empire, and then sort of go ahead and just sort of, we'll say, drop down the number so we weren't, we'll say, overspending with, we'll say, research. However, it would appear that we are still overspending by quite a bit. We'll say if we take a look here, it says total empire research potential. This here, if I'm remembering correctly, because the research system in this game is very convoluted and it's kind of a little bit, yeah, it's a bit of a pain. Basically, this is the total empire research potential, and then plus then after on top of that you get your bonuses. But if this number here basically should equal these three numbers. So as you can see, we are definitely over researching. And I'm wondering if, you know, when I went ahead and I removed a bunch of these research labs on a lot of these other large spaceports and then added the bunch to the Sapphire Palace, I'm wondering if I have to go back and take a look at the math here. I don't remember exactly how many there were before, but I'm wondering if I may have overdone it and now we're sitting here with a lot more research labs than we had before. And as a result, we're actually spending more on the lab, on the upkeep. So I'm thinking maybe we need to scale things back a little bit on, we'll say, the Sapphire Palace. So maybe, let's go ahead, let's go to, let's find the Sapphire Palace. Where is the Sapphire Palace here? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna modify that a little bit. I just want buildable, non-obsolete designs. There we go. And the... Where are you? I'm blind, aren't I? There we go, down at the very bottom, Sapphire Palace. We're gonna go ahead and manually upgrade this design. We're already getting an MK2. We're gonna go ahead and remove, like, over half these research labs. We got what? 12. Let's say. Yeah, 12 weapons labs, 12 energy labs, 12 high-tech labs, and I'm trying to figure out how do we see what the maintenance cost on that would be. Show construction summary? No, I can't remember exactly. I just know the maintenance cost for this one thing is, yeah, but that doesn't make any sense, because if I look right here up at the top, let's go ahead and add that weapons lab back. It only adds a tiny bit. The maintenance cost for this entire base is only 7,307. I don't understand how this... Let's cancel. I don't see how this is affecting our cash flow so much. What is our... Okay, let's take a look at our ship and maintenance costs here. I'm wondering, is there something else that just happened to happen around the same time? Pirate protection, 57... Ooh, no, that's right. We're spending a bunch of money on pirate protection, which we really don't need. Is it fuel costs? You know what? Actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look at the previous video. I want to see what this summary, the Empire summary screen was saying last time, and I want to see maybe where those additional costs are jumping up. Facility maintenance. No, that's not it. Is it troop maintenance? It might be troop maintenance. No. 411. That does seem kind of high. Give me a second. All right, taking a look at things, I noticed fuel costs have gone up and troop maintenance have actually gone up as well. And if I remember correctly, I did go ahead and automate some troop stuff, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Look at all these extra troops that we've got here. Or were these guys training? I'm not too sure. We only got rid of the ones who were on board, so there should be no on board. There we go. We got all these on board. So let's go ahead back here and let's actually get rid of troop recruitment. I think that is probably playing a role as well. So we're going to need to go ahead and, you know what? As much as I would have liked some things to be automated a little bit more, as we can clearly see here, the automation one is adding a lot more, we'll say, money in our troops. We'll say in the troop department, you know, we'll say extra expenses that we don't necessarily want. As well as, I noticed there was an increase in fuel costs. And now I'm not too sure exactly why that is. We're going to go ahead and get rid of all those on board. and that should help with our cash flow a little bit as well. And since we no longer have the automation for troop recruitment, we're going to we don't have to worry about that. Trade sanctions imposed. Okay, another empire has persuaded us to impose trade sanctions on your pitiful empire. Our trade with you is finished. Really? So who's friends with the royal Ketarov Dominion? Let's see, who are you friends with? They are... Is the Kenrith Prime territory? The Naxilian Union. They're kind of friendly with them. It might be them. Well, you know what? If they're going to initiate trade sanctions, we're going to stop trading our Loris fruit and Zentabia fluid with them. There we go. There. See? That cuts two ways there, buddy. We've got all the cool resources, and you're not getting any of it because you want to, you know, I don't know, you want to side with the probably the Naxilians, to be very, very honest. All right, so, you know, we should see a change in the cash flow very soon. Let me see. Fuel costs. That has definitely gone up. I'm wondering why that is. Or do we have a shortage of fuel? Let's go ahead and take a look. You know, we've been doing a lot of retrofitting. I'm wondering if we just don't... I wonder if we have enough. Okay, the price of Kazlan is still pretty good. However, there's a lot unfulfilled. Dang. Is that unfulfilled in the galaxy? Yeah. Unfulfilled in the galaxy. What about in my empire? Only 14.4k. I would think that most of my ships, though, would be on... Was it hydrogen, I believe? Yeah. And that there is... yeah, a lot less unfulfilled. So... I don't know, and the cost is still pretty good, so there's not really a shortage on that resource. I don't know. I don't know why exactly that is. The only thing I could think of is maybe if I accidentally made sure not to put energy collectors on my large spaceports, and as such, they are using up a lot more fuel. Let me see. Does this thing have the... Where is... Oh, there we go. Energy collectors. I was like, whew, that would have sucked. Okay, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. The cash flow should stabilize, though, now that we've, we'll say, removed those excess troops. However, it does make me want to kind of look at all my... last time I looked at all my colonies, and we verified that they all had a garrison, at least a small one. Now, I had, you know, actually, I haven't had a chance to put up the previous episode yet, so... nobody's been able to chime in on Nemben Junction yet. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be getting rid of this one, though. I'll wait, though. I want to hear from you guys. You know, is there, we'll say, a number of planets that I should just drop because they're not worth it? I want to know. I want to hear from you guys. Do we need to drop Lunar Major 1, for example? You know, oh no, that's right. That one has a cool facility. But Isian Prime, that one's got... No, we want to keep that one. That's got a nice, valuable stuff on it. You know, it's got some good resources. So I feel like as long as it can we can justify it with the resources that are on the planet. You know, are we getting value in a different way? Maybe not tax-wise, but maybe, you know, from, we'll say, the resources available on it. You know, does it provide value in that sense? I don't know. We will keep an eye on that. All right, you know what? I'm actually wondering about... accepting one of my advisor's suggestions. Basically, they're saying we should offer an attack mission to pirates to attack a mining station from the Tekin Corporation. And it's over in this system here. I don't think they're going to be successful. But you know what? Let's go ahead and approve it. Let's go ahead and start using some mercenaries a little bit more to weaken our enemies. Just kind of like how we're paying the pirates. We really shouldn't be. Like, a lot of our money is going straight to the pirates just so that they can... I don't know, just so that they can cause trouble in Naxilian space. That is basically it. You know, maybe it's not the wisest use of our cash. Maybe we should take a look here. What is this faction? No, I want the name of the faction, not the... There we go. Kalarba Major Confederation. That's who we're funding. I'm pretty sure that's... There we go. Bounty Hunters Hideout, Kalarba Major Confederation. Yeah. And what is their current strength at? Military ships, they're kind of pitiful still, but maybe they'll get up there. Maybe they will eventually get to the size where they can mess with the Naxilians. Now, a message did come up on the side, and I believe that was a research breakthrough. Our engineers have completed research in advanced engines. This breakthrough provides a new component, Vortex Engine, for our ships and bases. So what does the Vortex Engine do? Let's go ahead and take a look at our engines. Oh, we've got advanced engines. Sweet. So basically, before we were using, I can't remember if we were using the Acceleros or the Quantum Engine. We were using one of these, I think. Or maybe we were using the proton thrusters. I really hope we weren't. Basically, this sucker here, let's see, we got a maximum thrust of 1,630, which is lower than the Acceleros engine, but it uses less energy. This one uses only 6, whereas this one used 10. Cruise thrust is 950, which is higher than both. I'm not too sure what they mean by that. Is that what the average thrust is going to be for cruise energy usage? At 3. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we'll say retrofit our ships to make use of these new engines. And we're probably going to see, we'll say, an influx of cash, because we're also going to be upgrading, we'll say, our civilian ships, right? So, like, for example, we're going to go ahead with, like, this gas mining ship. We're going to go ahead, actually, you know what, let's start up at the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on every one of the ships that has an engine, basically, and go auto upgrade select designs. And what that's going to do is go ahead and take the existing design, the existing component, and upgrade it. So, let's see here. Wait, that's an old cruiser. That one's very obsolete. Oh, well, let's go ahead and obsolete. I need to go through this list and maybe make some of the old ships obsolete. Yeah, there we go. So for example, we've got 207 of our cruisers, the Allegiance 3 Mark 9. And if we go ahead and take a look at this here, we can see we are using the Acceleros engine. So if I go ahead and hit I'll say auto upgrade selected designs. Let's see, a size of 544. It keeps the same size. But now when we take a look at the design with the new Mark 10, we can see that we are using the Torrent drive. And wait, no, that's not right. The Torrent drive, that's not right. It's the Vortex engine. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And that's going to go ahead and... Oh, I should have taken a look at what it did for the speed. Speed, let's see, 17 here. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at, we'll say, the next ship here. The next one, I'm not going to do this for every single one of them, but let's say for our capital ship, the Trident Mark II. Currently, our cruise speed is, what, 11? With a sprint speed of 25. Let's go ahead and slap the new engines on there. And we end up with 13 and 22. That's actually lower. Now, I'm wondering if that has something to do with energy output. No, we've got plenty of excess energy that should be able to do... Interesting. So it's got a better cruise speed, but a lower sprint speed. I should have also taken a look at the range. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I have auto-upgraded all the ship designs so that they now have the new style of engine. It does appear that they have a lower sprint speed, but their cruise speed is a little bit higher. So I guess that kind of balances out. That's kind of cool. Do we want to retrofit all of our ships with the new Vortex engine? It's going to cost us $1 million. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's approve it. It's going to be a lot of money, but it will be worth it. Hopefully. It will hopefully be worth it. Again, I'm looking at my screen here, as I notice the cash flow seems to be decreasing yet again, and it looks like my fuel costs are increasing again. So I'm trying to figure out what it was that I did that is impacting my fuel costs so much. Let me see here. So basically, we're using... Actually, with the engines that we're using, we are using hydrogen, if I recall correctly, right? Let me take a look here. It is, let's see, the reactors. Sorry, that's energy and construction. We are using fusion balance, so the hyperfusion reactor uses hydrogen. So we need a steady supply of hydrogen, but for whatever reason, our hydrogen costs are going up. Now, is this because our reactors we're using more energy? Because if we're using more energy, then that would use up more of our fuel. That's awesome, we're having like an energy crisis here, okay. So we're being attacked by pirates? Really? Man, these pirates are getting bold. So what do we got? We got the Orizun Prime Defense Force, which is a grand total of 7 ships with 1,511 firepower versus these guys. I don't think this is going to work out very well for the pirates. Let me see. Was my hunch correct? Yeah, that looks about right. They got demolished. Looks like maybe they might escape. No, that guy. Oh yeah, he got away. But he left some of his fighters behind. They're tangling with the defensive fighters. But it's interesting to me that we have you know, pirates that are so brazen, that are so daring that they will come and try to mess with us. I find that kind of comical. All right, so you know what? I went right at the beginning here. I was looking at, you know, removing labs from the Sapphire Palace, and then I was like, nah, you know what? It shouldn't be as big of a deal as it is. But the truth of the matter is, I don't need that many on the base. So let's go ahead and let's find the Sapphire Palace and actually, what the heck? Why is it at 0? Oh crap! Oh crap! It's being darn it. So when I gave the global order across the Empire to go ahead and retrofit, it also retrofitted the Sapphire Palace to a large spaceport. So a default spaceport design, which I think, yeah, that's actually, I think, reduced my cash flow by a bit. I'm not too sure. What has that done for our research, though? I'm curious, what has that done for our research? That has brought things down considerably. Actually, not too bad. I'm wondering if I should just leave it as is then, with no research bases whatsoever. Sorry, no research labs. We still have research bases, but they're dedicated bases. It just worries me, though, that if we do happen to lose those other bases, yeah, you know, then at that time we can build more labs on the Sapphire Palace. Okay, so for the time being, that's fine. Although the cash flow continues to drop. And it looks... No, it's not fuel costs anymore. What is it? Is it ship and base maintenance? Holy crap. I didn't realize my private sector had so much cash on hand. You know, I was getting a little curious. I was like, wait a second. You know, I'm doing a lot of, you know, retrofitting stuff, but I haven't really been paying too much attention to, like, the private sector. And especially after seeing all that money they had, I'm like, is there a way I can get my hands on that money? So I started looking here at their, we'll see, in my ships and bases screen, and I'm looking over the design of, like, say, for example, the mining stations. Let's see, MS-16 MK7. That's an older design. Let me see. Let's see, show all designs. I'm curious as to how old they are. Let's see, how many do we have here? We got gas mining station, for example. There's 65 of these. Now they are obsolete. Can I force those to be retrofitted? Like, I'm wondering if there's a way I can go ahead and... I'm trying to think of a way to actually get that money. Like, or at least get them to be a little bit more efficient, or we'll say a little bit more effective, because we can outfit these mining stations with their own weapons and we'll say their own fighter bays and everything. So I'm starting to think about this. I'm like, why don't I go ahead and turn these into their own self-defensible, we'll say, battle stations? Like, the private sector's got enough money for it. It would make my entire empire a lot more hardened against an attack. So, you know what? Because I do see some escalating, we'll say I do see some escalation between us and the Nexilians in the near future. I think that's probably what I'm going to go ahead and do right now. We're going to go ahead and turn our, we'll say, mining bases into these, we'll say, the equivalent of a defensive base. They're going to have, like, all sorts of weapons on them to defend themselves, and that will also free up. You know, I won't need as many, we'll say, escorts or frigates and stuff like that to go ahead and sort of, you know, sort of play floating defense. That actually, you know, that's probably not a bad idea. And I'm wondering if there's something else we can do. We can turn them all into, like, monitoring stations as well. So we basically, all the maintenance would be paid for. If I'm correct, all the maintenance costs would be covered by the private sector, and we would get all the benefits from it. So let's go ahead and start creating some new designs here. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll say we'll start with the gas mining station. And we're going to go ahead and rename this. I don't know. GMS it's good, but let's call it like the GMS X, because putting an X on the end makes it sound cooler. So we have a massive cargo bay. It's kind of we'll say an older design. It's not too bad. But yeah, I want to go ahead and maybe add some more shields, more armor, maybe a couple more fighter bays, because I think I may have already added fighter bays once. Yes, 3. But yeah, I want to turn these into their own juggernauts, and then slowly start retrofitting them across our empire. I'm also going to try to put maybe some long-range sensors. So I'll be right back, just right back in a second here. All right, here we go. We've created our monstrosity of a gas mining station here. I've gone ahead and added some more Titan beams onto there, more concussion missiles, and I added some Terminator autocannons on there to, we'll say, take out any enemy fighters that might come our way. We've also added some ion cannons and a high-powered tractor beam to put things at the proper distance. Also added a couple assault pods, and what this does is it actually increases our boarding defense strength. So if we happen to have pirates who decide they want to board our mining station, if they happen to even get close enough, they are going to have a really bad day. We have a nice full complement of, we'll say, Marines or troops, whatever, on board. I've also added some countermeasures, and some, if I've correct, I also added, where was it? Combat targeting system, which should increase the accuracy of our shots. I've also added an extra repair bot, more shields, more armor, and enough reactors to go ahead and fire for days. So we've got ourselves our brand new fancy dandy, sure, that works, gas mining station. We're gonna go ahead and give the regular mining station the same kind of treatment, and then we're gonna go ahead and retrofit those. All right, now that is done, let's go ahead and take our new, pilot project here and see how much this is going to cost us. So mining stations, let me take a look here. They've got lots of cash on hand. They can definitely afford this. We have 2 million. Sometimes I swear we get paid for it, and sometimes I swear we end up having to pay for it. So let's go ahead and just maybe try retrofitting this first screen of gas mining stations and see the GMS X and see what that does for our cash flow. See if we make some money off that. So our money does seem to be going. It looks like it's going up. Yeah, maybe. And it is currently retrofitting. Now we've got some shortages of resources. Now I've got to be careful with this here. If we go ahead and we just start mass retrofitting everything, we are going to run into some major resource shortages throughout our empire. So if we go ahead and try to retrofit everything all at once, we're probably going to end up having to pay more for our resources than if we were to do things sort of like more of a rolling retrofit. Then again, do we really care? Like, we're kind of rolling in money as it is, and I think this money is going to be mostly going to us. Let's try it. I've been screwing up my economy and everything enough as it is. Let's just have fun with this. It doesn't seem like I can go ahead and retrofit. Why can I not retrofit them? Is it because they're already retrofitting? Oh, okay. So if you select ships or something on the ships and bases screen that is already retrofitting, it will gray out the retrofit button. So, oh man, this is probably not a good idea. Wait, let's go down to 50 ships, 50 bases. How much is this going to cost me? 500 grand. Wait, I should have told them specifically. There we go. I want to see what. Yeah, there we go. We saw the money jump right into our account. So that means that we're basically transferring money from the private sector to us, basically so that they can go ahead and retrofit with some of the newest technologies. And since we know that they're making a ton of money, we know that they can go ahead and pay for the new maintenance costs. Cool. So once that's all done, all of our mining bases will be basically untouchable, hopefully, and that will make things for, we'll say, any invading empire that much more difficult. So basically, this is kind of a clever way of having the we'll say the private sector do a lot of our heavy lifting, because I also went ahead and I put some was it proximity sensors on there. So basically, you see these sort of these whiter areas, these long-range sensor areas where I can see all the different ships moving through our territory, and those are typically, you know, on our spaceports. But what I've done is I've actually put them on all of the mining stations. So theoretically, anywhere we have a mining station, we should have visibility. So we will be able to see everything. Let's say within our territory, we won't have these little blind spots, which is going to be kind of cool. And if we do happen to have, we'll say, mining stations in other people's territory, that will also increase our we'll say, vision across the map. Now, on that note, you know, actually, I can't do that. What I was going to do is, I was going to say, you know what, we've got all these other, these private ships as well. You know, we've got the small freighter, for instance. And it's probably using some older technology. I don't think we've really done a whole lot with this. Actually, no, it's doing pretty good. Awesome. And I was like, you know what, we can go ahead and put maybe weapons on the private ships. But the thing is, private ships do have one limitation. They can only carry one weapon. So I could go ahead and slap a Titan beam on here, for example, but I can't because I hit edit. I need to hit manually upgrade design. If I slap a Titan beam on here, that's fine. It can defend itself with one Titan beam. If I try to add a second one, civilian ships may only have one weapon. So I could go ahead and start arming my private sector entirely, which would be... Actually, that'd be kind of cool. If I could set it so weaker opponents, basically all weapons. So I could actually have private sector ships defending as well. Because theoretically, if I can manipulate their behavior, I can turn the private sector into sort of quasi, you know, we'll say makeshift militia type things in a pinch. Huh. That's an interesting thought. Maybe not necessarily something I can use completely defensively, but flee when enemy military sighted. Flee when... that's actually an idea. I don't know if I'm going to do that right now, but I like the idea of going over my my civilian ships, maybe adding one weapon onto them, and that way there, you know, should the enemy start coming into our systems, you know, they could go ahead and maybe, we'll say, chip in along with our military. You know, we're letting them have all of this extra money. You know, they have tons of cash on hand. They've got an amazing cash flow. Why not get them to contribute to their own defense? I actually really like that idea. Because I don't want to get into really any messes, any we'll say tussles, any sort of fights with another empire at this moment. But you know, it's going to happen. It's going to happen very soon. Let's go ahead and take a look. What is our reputation, or not reputation, sorry. What is our relationship with the Naxilian Union right now? We still have trade sanctions. So we got trade sanctions with 3 empires right now. The Royal Keterov Dominion, the Naxilian Union, and the Tekin Corporation. Well, not a whole lot happened this session. I'm sorry about that. I think what I might do, maybe off camera, I will go ahead and we'll say retrofit these civilian ships, and the next time I'll go over exactly what we changed with them, and we'll see if we can have our sort of, we'll say, civilian defense force, and see see maybe where that takes us. I think that'll be interesting. I know the Naxilians are at war. Sorry, right before I do go, I know they're at war with 2 factions right now, the Strilor Empire and the Raldan Corporation. They do still have that pretty good relationship with, actually, sorry, it's not these guys, it's with the Rendula colonies. So if I do go straight up and declare war with the Naxilian Union, I need to be prepared to also take on the Rendula colonies. Militarily, let's see, where do they stand? They are down here. And with the Naxilians up there, so we've got about, it would be like taking on the Dandalus technocracy, which I think we could do. So maybe that's what we'll do. Next time, we'll have all of our private ships all outfitted with some weapons for self-defense as well. And then, you know what? We're going to go ahead and start moving into Naxilian territory because we need to expand a little bit. I feel like, you know, we're not going to really get any closer to our victory conditions here, just sort of trying to play things out. I did spend maybe, we'll say the last, I think it was 2 episodes, just kind of working on my economy and doing some sort of house cleaning. But I think it's about time to get on the road to conquest one more time. So maybe that's the route we will take next time. Because don't forget, we've got the Desolation Moon Fleet sitting right here, ready to blow up planets. Yes, I don't like blowing up planets, but you know what we might do? You know what we might do? Evacuate everybody from Nembin Junction and then blow the crap out of the planet. That might be an idea. Tell me what you guys think about that. If you like the video, you like the content, and you would like to see more of it, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, leave it a thumbs down. Either way, let me know what you thought in the comment section. And until next time, I would like to ask you all to game on.